So this is a girl. The black dots are the eggs. I don't know if y'all, it's harder to see it up there. So you really don't want to hit the abdominal, through the abdominal cavity. So I'm just cutting the skin. The less damage you cause, the longer he's going to be able to survive. So there's connective tissue obviously around the anus, and you just sort of cut around that if you want to get one of the leg skin off. So these are pretty big frogs. I suspect that they'll have a little bit of connective tissue, but you can essentially peel the skin off. Sometimes around the knee there's a little bit of extra connective tissue. If y'all can't see something, just let me know. Okay, so one leg of the pants has been taken off here, and you can go two ways to get to the. Well, first of all, the gastroc is this muscle right here, right? So this is what would be the Achilles tendon in a human, connecting the ankle to the knee. So the muscle we're trying to isolate is this one. So you can do it any way you want. I think the easier way to do it is to get to the sciatic nerve first. So we're going to stimulate the sciatic nerve and try to see the contraction of the gastroc. Can't remember which way it's easier to get this to the sciatic nerve. I see some muscle bundles on the dorsal side, so realistically you don't need any cutting. You can just grab the muscle and sort of tease the muscle bundles apart. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so the first thing is the bone. I mean, if it's hard, that's the femur. So you can definitely see where the femur is. The sciatic nerve, it's a little bit harder to see. Can you move it up a little bit? So you'll see white, so the nerve bundle is white. You'll see these white fibers all over the place. Here's one. I don't know if y'all can tell if it's a little wider up there. My goggles are fogging up, so it's harder for me to see. But if it's shiny and it's under a lot of tension, that's not the nerve, all right? So that's a ligament or tendon, and that's not the one you want. The sciatic nerve is sort of loosely in place, and it's clearly white all the way down. So that's the sciatic nerve, and the artery runs right next to it. So that's how you can identify it. All right. So that is the sciatic nerve. And, I didn't make any cuts at all. I just sort of used my rat tooth forceps and grabbed just the muscle, make sure I didn't get any of the nerve, and I just used the blunt probe to poke around the different muscle fibers so I can get to the sciatic nerve. And you can just use that with the probe. So that's the sciatic nerve. All right. So once you have that, what I've seen some people do that seems to be effective is you get a piece of suture string and just put it under it. That way you can identify where that sciatic nerve is at all times. And once you have that, then we can work on the muscle itself. So these muscles can produce a bit more force than the earthworm smooth muscle. Because of that, you need to try to tie your suture string pretty firmly to where the Achilles tendon would be. Except in a frog, the Achilles tendon doesn't connect to the ankle. It goes all the way around to the bottom of the foot. All right. So if you try to just connect to the Achilles tendon before you cut that, a lot of times when the frog contracts, it just pulls itself off, and then it becomes sort of a pain. So it's easier if you go ahead and tie off the Achilles tendon, and then cut distal to that area. So you have a little bit of the ankle left. That way when you pull on it, there's something hard and it won't slip off. So I'm going to try to do that. I think sometimes that part takes people a bit of time. I'm going to remove actually, I might as well just put the string on the sciatic nerve while I'm at it. That way I've got it. I'm going to go right through here. So that's in pretty good. Now this other end of the suture string, that would go to your load cell. So just like the earthworm, that one end of the crop gizzard or intestine would go to the load cell, you tie the same thing to the paper clip or acid wire or whatever it might be. So once you have the distal end of the muscle tied off, you can just cut on the other side of the ankle. And cut part of the ankle itself. That way there's no chance that that will ever slip off. Okay, and once you have that cut, you'll see a little bit of connective tissue between the gastroc and some of the bone and other muscle bundles, and you just gently sort of pry that off. Okay, so that's the muscle. This end would go to the load cell. The other end on the knee, we have these alligator clips, and you can connect alligator clips to the knee to hold it steady. Now, you have to stimulate the frog in order to get contraction. And I haven't done this before, but so you can stimulate it both ways. This is just a 9-volt battery. So that's a switch. Let me try to get it to where my hand's not in your way. So I'm stimulating all the muscle groups, and if you just separate that, what you'll notice is I'm continuously stimulating here, right? The battery is connected, but you just get a twitch, right? You don't get a titanic contraction. So you need to try to figure out, first of all, what voltage you need in order to get a titanic contraction. But you also need to figure out the frequency of contraction to get, more than summation, more than tetanus, but a fused tetanus, which is what you're really looking for. All right. The other area where people have trouble with is the sciatic nerve. So the way we normally stimulate the sciatic nerve is not with a battery. We've got stimulus isolators that you can specifically define how much current you want to output into that muscle group. In order to actually stimulate it, you need some way to connect electrodes to this sciatic nerve without touching it by hand. And the best way we found that works is you can just get a paper clip and just connect it to one end of this dissection pan, go under one side and connect it on the other side to the dissection pan, and then do another one just a little bit further away from it. So as long as you stimulate that nerve bundle, you should be able to get a twitch. If you overstimulate it with too much voltage or too much current, you just start cooking the animal. All right. So you don't need a whole lot of voltage for a whole lot of time in order to send off an action potential. If you put too much current or for too long of a time, you're just damaging the tissue and you're